नमस्कार दोस्तों, आज की महफिल में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत दिन हम आपसे बातचीत कर रहे हैं। आज हम विश्व पर्यावरण दिवस मना रहे हैं। वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे है आज का, जिसकी हम सभी ट्रिपल एफ फर्स्ट फ्राइडे फोरम की तरफ से सभी को ये संदेश देना चाहते हैं कि समाज में कहीं भी आपको किसी किस्म का कोई वेस्ट नज़र आए तो उसको रीयूज़ करने की, अपस्केल करने की कोशिश करें और पर्यावरण के प्रेमी बने और उनके साथ रहें। पर्यावरण का ही एक और ख़ास गुण है उसकी खामोशी, उसकी साइलेंस, उसकी ये अदा कि वो आपका हमेशा साथ देगी, लेकिन अपनी खामोशी के साथ। तो इसीलिए आज का जो फर्स्ट फ्राइडे फॉर्म जो आपके साथ अंक हम लेकर आए हैं, उसका टॉपिक भी हमने साइलेंस से ही जुड़ा चुना है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि ये साइलेंस सबको सुनाई देगी, वो गूंज की तरह। जो किसी चलचित्र में किसी ने कहा था कि इसकी गूंज तुम्हें दूर तक सुनाई देगी, तो आज साइलेंस की गूंज भी हमें दूर तक सुनाई देगी। लेकिन उस गूंज को सुनने के लिए सबसे पहले, जैसा कि हमारे प्रोग्राम का विधान रहता है, मैं भट्टी साहब को पहले इनवाइट करूंगा। भट्टी साहब एक इंट्रोडक्शन देते हुए फिर हमारे स्पीकर के पास मंच और माइक देंगे। भट्टी साहब, सबसे पहले आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है, प्लीज़।
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to share with you that about 2 years ago, Chandigarh University made me their Professor Emeritus of Architecture at University Institute of Architecture. तो फिर मैं वहाँ जाता रहता हूँ, रेगुलरली लेक्चर देता हूँ, इंटरेक्शन करता हूँ। एंड ड्यूरिंग द पास्ट 1 ईयर वो ज़्यादा एक्टिव रहा हूँ। तो उसमें मैंने कई चीज़ें डिस्कवर की हैं कि यंगर जनरेशन में क्या क्या टैलेंट है, कैसे है, तो उनको कैसे इनकरेज किया जाए, आगे चलाया जाए। सो इन दैट एक्सरसाइज, अपार्ट फ्रॉम माय लेक्चर्स टू द वेरिड audiences, I chose 4 students, दो फाइनल ईयर के थे, दो थर्ड ईयर के। हर्षिका थर्ड ईयर या फोर्थ ईयर में जाएगी। इसके साथ नवजोत है, जिसका नेक्स्ट मंथ में होगा। तो उनको मैंने सोचा कि बजाय के लेक्चर देने के, उनको पार्टिसिपेट किया करवाया जाए कि लेक्चर मेरे साथ ही दें। तो उनके मनपसंद का टॉपिक मैंने लेके तो वो लेक्चर किए। लेक्चर इन द सेंस आई वाज इंट्रोड्यूसिंग भी ये क्या कर रहे हैं, बाकी उन्होंने अपने आप ही किया सारा कुछ। सो इन दैट आई डिस्कवर्ड कि इतनी यंग एज में हर्षिका ने इतनी सीरियस चीज को ढूंढा है और उसके ऊपर काम कर रही है। आई फेल्ट वेरी, मैं उसके लिए इनकरेजमेंट करना चाह रहा था, वो मुझे लगा मुझे इनकरेज कर दिए भी, ऐसा आगे चलाना चाहिए। तो उसी वक्त से मैंने, विच मीन्स अबाउट 4 months अगो मोर, आई टोल्ड देम कि आपको मैंने फर्स्ट फ्राइडे फोरम मंथली इंटरेक्शन प्रोग्राम में ऑनलाइन लेक्चर करवाना है, तो आप तैयार करो। So I'm very happy they spent a lot of time preparing presentations which are very wonderful. उनको मैं और अच्छे तरीके से यूज़ करूँगा लेटर। तो इसमें से जितनी भी बात मुझे इनसे बातचीत करने में पता चली, तो मुझे लगता है कि अपार्ट फ्रॉम द सीरियसनेस ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट, शी इज़ वेरी सीरियसली इन्वॉल्व इन एक्सप्लोरिंग कि साइलेंस है तो क्या चीज़ हो सकती है। तो उसमें ये चीज़ निकलती है कि साइलेंस ही जो है वो एक्चुअल स्पीच है, प्रॉपर। तो वो बिल्डिंग्स में कैसे अप्लाई होता है वो और भी मुश्किल काम है, तो वो भी उसने ढूंढा होगा। तो शी टोल्ड मी कि 2 years ago when she found it very exciting, तो उसने एक डिज़ाइन भी बिल्डिंग का किया है, वो भी मुझे शेयर नहीं किया है। उस बिल्डिंग में वो साइलेंस वाला ही फैक्टर लेके, बाकी बहुत फैक्टर होते हैं ना, जैसे इकोनॉमिक का भी, पैसे कम है तो कैसे बिल्डिंग बनाई जाए, बहुत बड़ी जगह है तो क्या करना है, ऑल दोज फैक्टर्स विच आर क्वाइट, मेरे हिसाब से एक्सट्रेनियस है टू क्रिएट, टू द सोल ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी, और एक्सट्रेनियस फैक्टर्स, तो उन्हें उसने वो कर रखा। आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी दैट शी एग्रीड टू स्पीक टू अस दिस इवनिंग, एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी श्योर what she tells you will inspire you to look into this subject yourself and find something new in your own life। क्योंकि आजकल दुकानें काफ़ी अच्छी आ रही है और बाकी लोगों ने चला रखी हैं, ये ऐसा ध्यान करो, ऐसा करो, वो करो, सारा वो मेरे हिसाब से ऑल फ्रॉडुलेंट है, ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. Even the best of them are fraudulent. But this one is a serious task and will certainly motivate you to look into it yourself and figure out how you can use it to explore the silence within, which is a kind of psycho-spiritual ambience in which the soul speaks to itself in the presence of the Creator, we call God. I am very happy to request Harshika to speak to us. Over to Harshika.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very, very nice of you. Um, is the presentation visible?
Huh.
So I'll begin. Good evening, sir, respected members, fellow students, and everyone present. I would like to begin with a very simple question. Have you ever entered a space and without realizing slowed down? Not because there was a sign asking you to be quiet or because you were instructed to pause, but because the space itself somehow changed your pace. Perhaps you walked a little bit slower, or perhaps you spoke a little bit softer. You simply stood there for a few moments longer than necessary. I think most of us have experienced such spaces. The interesting thing is that these spaces are often not the most famous ones. They are always the most expensive. Not always the most expensive. They are not necessarily the most visually spectacular. And yet they stay with us for a long time. That observation is where this presentation began. As architecture students, we spend a lot of time discussing form, structure, technology, sustainability, and aesthetics. All of these are important, but I gradually became interested in something much more difficult to draw and much more difficult to measure. I became interested in atmosphere, in feeling, in those moments when architecture influences us quietly, without announcing itself, without demanding attention. And while trying to understand these moments, I kept returning to one idea: silence. Not silence as the absence of sound, but silence as an experience, a quality of space, a condition that allows us to become more aware of ourselves and our surroundings. Today, I would like to explore that idea, not as a definitive theory, but as an ongoing observation, an attempt to understand why certain spaces continue to resonate long after we leave them. Why do some spaces remain in our memory while others disappear almost immediately? Just a second, I'm having some issue. Why silence matters today. Before discussing silence itself, I think it is important to ask a different question. Why should we even talk about silence today? After all, silence is not usually considered an urgent architectural issue. We talk about sustainability, housing, smart cities, technology, but we rarely talk about silence. And yet, I would like to argue that silence has become more relevant today than perhaps at any other time. The reason is simple. We are living in an age of constant attention. Every day, from the moment we wake up, something is competing for our attention. Our photos, advertisements, phones, social media all compete for attention. Even architecture, increasingly competes for attention. Buildings are expected to be iconic. They are expected to be instantly recognizable, photogenic, memorable, shareable. In many cases, architecture is experienced first through a photograph rather than through a physical visit. And there is nothing inherently wrong with that. Images have always been important. But something interestingly happens when architecture becomes primarily image driven. The question gradually changes. Instead of asking, how will people experience this space, we sometimes begin asking, how will this look? And these are not always the same questions. A building may look extraordinary in a photograph, yet feel uncomfortable in reality. On the other hand, some of the most meaningful spaces are surprisingly difficult to capture in a single image. Their impact comes from movement, from atmosphere, changing light, and from the experience of being there. Perhaps that is why silence interests me, because silence resists instant consumption. You cannot scroll through silence. You cannot experience it in 2 seconds. You have to remain present. You have to spend time with it. I often think about this when observing how people interact with spaces today. If there is a moment of waiting, we immediately reach for our screen. If there is a moment of stillness, we often try to fill it. It almost feels as though modern life has made us uncomfortable with pauses. And yet, some of the most meaningful experiences in life emerge precisely from the pauses. The pause before a decision, a conversation, watching a sunrise. These moments are rarely dramatic, but they are often memorable. Architecture has the ability to create such moments, not by forcing them, and perhaps that is one reason why silence matters, because it reminds us that architecture is not only about movement, it is about stillness, not only about activity, but also about reflection, and not only about attracting attention, but also giving attention to a place to rest. I think this idea of attention is important because it leads directly to the next question. If silence matters today, then what exactly is it doing to our perception of a space? The architecture of attention. One of the reasons I became interested in this topic is because attention itself has changed dramatically in contemporary life. Today, our attention is constantly fragmented. Everything competes for visibility. Advertising competes for attention. Technology competes for attention. Even architecture often competes for attention. Buildings are increasingly expected to create immediate impact. However, there is an important distinction between attracting attention and holding attention. Many spaces attract attention immediately, but very few hold it. A spectacular building may impress us for a few seconds, but the spaces we truly remember are often those that reveal themselves gradually. We continue discovering them over time. We notice something new during a second visit and perhaps something entirely new years later. That gradual unfolding is what gives our space depth. Silent spaces function differently from visually aggressive spaces. They do not overwhelm us. Instead, they create conditions where attention becomes slower, deeper, and more intentional. When that happens, perception changes. We notice light more carefully. We begin to notice the texture, the proportion, and the quality of shadow. Even the time begins to feel different. And perhaps this is important because silence is not only a spatial condition, it is a psychological one. It creates mental space. Defining silence in architecture. When speaking about silence in architecture, it is important to clarify what silence actually means. Silence does not mean emptiness. It is not removing everything from a space. Rather, silence emerges through restraint, through simplicity, through proportion, through careful controlled light, through thoughtful use of materials also. Architecture theorist Ioannis Plasma argues that architecture should engage all the senses and not just vision. I believe that this idea is extremely relevant. When a space is not overloaded visually, other senses begin to become active. We notice the softness of light, we notice the texture, the temperature, the sound, and even movement. We begin noticing more things. We become aware of our own bodies moving through space. At that point, architecture stops behaving like an object we look at. It becomes something we experience. Perhaps meaningful architecture is often remembered not because how it looked, but because how it made us feel. Everyday encounters with silence. One of the most interesting discoveries during this exploration was realizing that silence is not rare. In fact, it is all around us. The challenge is that we often fail to notice it. When we hear the phrase silent architecture, we immediately imagine famous buildings, sacred spaces, monasteries, or carefully designed works of architecture. But silence is not limited to extraordinary spaces. Sometimes it appears in very ordinary situations. Sometimes it appears when we least expect it. For example, think about an early morning street before the city fully wakes. The buildings are the same, the trees, the roads, everything is the same. Yet the experience feels completely different. Why? Because our relationship with a space has changed. The place has changed, the atmosphere has changed, and suddenly we become aware of things that usually escape our attention. The sound of birds, the movement of light across the wall, the texture of a pathway, the changing shadows of a tree. The space itself has not changed dramatically, but our experience of it has. I think silence often works in that way. It reveals what was already there. Another example can be found in traditional Indian architecture. When we look at old havelis, courtyards, stepwells, and the temple complexes, we notice something remarkable. Many of these spaces were not designed to be visually spectacular in the contemporary sense. They were designed around climate, community, ritual, and daily life. And yet, they often create profound experience. Take a traditional courtyard. At the first glance, it seems very simple. But when we spend time there, we begin to notice how carefully it responds to light, air, temperature, and movement. The courtyard is not trying to impress me. It is not. It is quietly supporting my life. And perhaps that is why it feels timeless. The same is true for stepwells. One example I mentioned in my presentation is Rani Ki Vav. What fascinates me about stepwells is that experience unfolds in it gradually. You do not understand the space immediately. You descend, the temperature changes, the light changes, the surroundings changes, and the sound also changes. The outside world slowly fades away. And with each step, your awareness shifts. The architecture is not shouting for attention. It is guiding experience very gently, very patiently. And I think there is something important to learn from that. Today, we often expect architecture to communicate immediately, but some spaces reveal themselves slowly. And perhaps those are the spaces that remain with us for the longest. When begin paying attention to these everyday encounters, I realized that silence is not necessarily hidden in famous buildings. Sometimes it exists in the spaces we pass every day, the shaded courtyards, the corridors, the libraries, the temples, a quiet bench beneath a tree. These places remind us that meaningful architecture does not always require complexity. Sometimes it simply requires attentiveness. Perhaps silence is not something we have lost, it is something that we stopped noticing. And while observing these spaces, I began thinking about one particular experience that changed the way I looked at architecture altogether. A personal encounter with silence. Up to this point, I have spoken about silence through theory, observation, and architectural examples. But my interest in this topic did not begin with a book. It did not begin with a lecture, and it certainly did not begin with a presentation. It began with a moment, a very ordinary moment. Few years ago, I was standing in an old courtyard. There was nothing extraordinary about it. I was not here to study it, and I was not documenting it. I was not even analyzing the architecture. I was just simply there. Nothing dramatic was happening. There was no iconic building. If somehow someone would have taken a picture of that courtyard and showed me, I actually wouldn't have noticed it that way. And yet, something about that experience stayed with me. The light was soft, the proportions felt balanced, the air felt still. There was a sense of calm that is surprisingly difficult to describe. What I remember most clearly is not appearance of the space. It is the feeling of being there. I found myself slowing down, not intentionally, not because someone asked me to. The space itself seemed to alter my pace. And I stayed there longer than I needed to. At that time, I did not think of it as architecture. But later, as I reflected on it, I began asking a question. Why did that moment feel so different? Why did I remember it? What quality of the space had affected me? And perhaps more importantly, why do certain places continue to stay with us long after we leave them? As architecture students, we often focus on what can be measured, dimensions, material, functions, construction even. These things are important, but some of the most powerful architecture experiences are difficult to quantify. How do we measure comfort, atmosphere, and the feeling that a space creates? These questions fascinated me. And gradually, I realized that what I was trying to understand was not the form, it was experience. The courtyard itself was not extraordinary because of any single design element. It was a relationship between many things. And the most important things were light, proportion, material, stillness, and time. Together, they created an atmosphere, and that atmosphere changed the way I felt. This experience also made me realize something. Architecture is often discussed through photographs, and photographs are important, as I mentioned before. They help us to communicate ideas, but some aspects of architecture cannot be photographed. Because how can you photograph temperature, smell, or even the feeling of standing somewhere at a particular moment of the day? You cannot photograph these things. You have to experience it. And perhaps silence belongs to this category. It is not simply something we see, it is something we feel, we inhabit, and we remember. Looking back, I think that Courtyard taught me the most important lesson in architecture, that meaningful spaces do not always demand attention. Sometimes they simply allow us to be present. And perhaps that quiet ability is one of architecture's greatest strength. This experience also changed the way I looked at architecture education. It made me realize that some things are learned in classroom, but some things are learned only by observing the world around us. Learning classroom versus city. As architecture students, we are trained to think through concepts, drawings, models, formal designs, and diagrams. These are essential tools. However, the city teaches us something equally valuable. It teaches us that spaces are not only designed, they are inhabited, adapted, negotiated, and continuously reinterpreted by people. A market street may appear chaotic on paper, yet function with a remarkable intelligence in reality. People create pattern of movement. They create informal gathering spaces. They appropriate edges, corners, and thresholds. And these behaviors gradually become part of architecture itself. As students, we often believe that architecture exists in drawings, but buildings never remain drawings. The most the moment people enter them, they begin changing them. People sit where we did not expect them to sit. They gather where we did not intend them to gather. They use spaces differently from what we imagined. And perhaps this is not a failure of design, it is the evidence that architecture is alive. The classroom gives us methods, but the city gives us understanding. Meaningful architecture emerges when both begin to inform one another. Silence and human experience. Up to this point, I have spoken about silence as a quality of space. But perhaps the most interesting question is that why does silence affect us at all? Why do certain spaces makes us feel calm? And why do some environments make us feel overwhelmed? And why do some spaces rarely stay with us for years? I think the answer lies not only in architecture, but in human psychology. As human beings, we are constantly processing information. We are reading environments all the time, often without realizing it. The scale of a room, the amount of light, the distance between people, the texture of materials, the levels of activity around us. All these things influence how we feel. And architecture becomes meaningful because it shapes the experience around us. When I first started thinking about silent spaces, I assumed silence was mainly about calmness. But over time, I realized it is something deeper. Silence creates awareness. When distractions reduce, perceptions increase. We begin noticing things we usually overlook: a shadow moving across a wall, the changing quality of daylight, the sound of footsteps, and the movement of air. Even our own thoughts become more noticeable. And perhaps that is why silent spaces often feel restorative. Not because they remove experience, but because they allow experience to become clearer. Research in environment psychology supports this idea. Studies have shown that environments with lower sensory overload often contribute positively to concentration, mental restoration, and emotional well being. This may explain why people often seek out certain types of spaces during periods of stress: libraries, gardens, courtyards, places of worship, quiet public spaces, not because these places solve our problem, but because they allow us to think more clearly about them. I find this particularly relevant today. We live in a world where attention is constantly fragmented. Many people struggle to spend even a few minutes without checking their device. Silence in this context becomes more of a design quality. It becomes a form of relief, not an escape from life, but a way of reconnecting with it. And I think architecture has a remarkable role to play here because architecture can shape the conditions in which people experience them. A well designed space cannot make someone happy, it cannot solve every problem, but it can support certain states of mind. It can encourage reflection, focus, presence. Perhaps this is why some religious spaces feel powerful even when people do not share the same faith, like a Gurudwara. Perhaps this is why certain libraries feel inspiring. And this is why some old courtyards remain memorable long after we leave them. The power of these places do not come from spectacle. It comes from atmosphere, and atmosphere influences the experience. If silence influences experience, then another question emerges. How does architecture create this quality over time? And I think the answer often lies in something very simple: material and time. Time and material. One of the most fascinating aspects of silence is that it often develops over time. As material age, surface soften, edges lose sharpness, textures begin carrying traces of hues. Peter Zumthor speaks beautifully about atmosphere and material memory. I think material memory is deeply connected to silence. Worn stone steps, weathered walls, polished surfaces shaped by countless human interactions. These are not simply signs of aging, they are the record of human presence. They remind us that architecture exists within time. And over time, these traces transform architecture from something purely visual into something lived. Silence, in many cases, is not immediately designed. It emerges gradually through memory, occupation, and time itself. The role of architect. Throughout this presentation, I have spoken about silence as an experience. I have spoken about attention, atmosphere, memory, material, human perception. But all of this eventually leads to a practical question. What does this mean for architects? What is our role in creating this experience? Because architecture is not simply the certain creation of a building. It is the creation of a condition for living, interaction, memory, perhaps conditions for silence. I think one of the biggest challenge facing contemporary architecture is the presence of constantly standing out. Today, architects are often expected to create buildings that are instantly recognizable, which I have mentioned a lot over time. Buildings that become landmarks and create immediate impact. There is nothing inherently wrong about this ambition. Architecture should inspire, it should innovate, it should respond to contemporary challenge. But sometimes, in our pursuit of impact, we risk forgetting something important. We risk forgetting about experience because architecture is ultimately not judged by photograph. It is judged by inhabitation, by living, by what it feels to live in a place, to work in it, to walk through it, and to grow old in it. And this is where I think silence offers a valuable lesson. Silence teaches restraint. It reminds us that architecture does not always need to be more. Sometimes it needs to be less. As students, we are often trained to solve problems by adding spaces, adding forms, adding features, adding interventions. But some of the most meaningful architecture decisions always involve subtraction. removing distraction, removing access, removing experience, allowing spaces for.
Anshika, 1 minute to wind up.
Sir, I have a few
Only,
slides.
only 1 minute remains. Anyway, carry on.
So basically, I was just telling about how some architects, think of adding a lot to a space, but it is important to subtract from it, and it is very important to know where you have to take a pause. And when we begin thinking about architecture in this way, silence becomes more than a design strategy. It begins to feel like an ethical position. Silence as ethics. At a deeper level, silence also becomes an ethical idea. Dr. S.S. Bhatti sir beautifully mentioned recently, silence is not the absence of expression. It is the presence of depth awaiting its moment of utterance. When you speak through it, the world does not merely hear, it listens. And I believe this idea captures the silence powerfully. And yet it continues resonating within us long after the experience ends. What silence teaches young architects? As I come closer to the end of this presentation, I would like to shift the focus slightly. Instead of asking what silence means for architecture, I would like to ask what does silence teach us as young architects? Otherwise, it only remains as a concept. The spaces that inspire this presentation did not reveal themselves immediately. Many of them became meaningful only after repeated visits and resonated experiences. And there is nothing wrong in appreciating the beauty of innovation. But this exploration has encouraged me to ask a different question. Instead of asking, will people notice the building? I increasingly find myself asking, will people remember this experience? As a student, I certainly do not claim to have mastered these lessons. In many ways, this presentation is not the conclusion of an idea. It is the beginning of a question hope to continue exploring through my education and professional life. How can architecture create spaces that are not only functional or beautiful, but also meaningful? As I conclude, I would like to return to the question which I asked in the beginning. Have you ever entered a space and without realizing it, slowed down? Not because someone instructed you to, not because the sign asked you to, but because the space itself made you pause. Something that existed only in exceptional buildings or extraordinary places, but the more I observe, the more I realize that silence is not rare at all. It exists around us constantly. And perhaps even to notice ourselves, I would like to conclude with a thought. A building does not become meaningful simply because it is seen. It becomes meaningful because it is experienced. And sometimes the most meaningful architecture is not the one that speaks the loudest, but the one that quietly stays with us for a long time after we have left. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Um, I don't think so that I heard a session or lecture or something. It was all sheer poetry, and it just has um, gone through like a lot of my organs, even internal organs, right? I'm talking about the heart. So
Thank
it is a kind of moment where I do feel that कि कुछ कहने से पहले थोड़ा साइलेंस ही ऑब्जर्व कर लेते हैं. बट एनीवेज, हमें आगे तो बढ़ना ही होगा जैसा कि हमारे प्रोग्राम का विधान कहता है. तो जितने भी हमारे पास लोग हैं साथ इस पोइट्री का जिन्होंने मज़ा लिया, उनसे थोड़ा सा आपके बारे में सुन लेते हैं. मेरी ओर से आपको थम्स अप है. मैं एक एक करके जो हमारे साथ लोग ज्वाइन किए उनको, सबसे पहले अनिल शर्मा जी का नाम आता है मेरे पास. तो शर्मा जी, आप कहिए क्या कहना चाहते हैं.
It was a wonderful experience listening to her. Rightly said by Arun ji
सुनाई
that
वो गूंज रही है आपकी आवाज़, एक आपको माइक जरा वो करना पड़ेगा।
मैं ये मुझसे दूसरा माइक चल नहीं रहा एक्चुअली।
चलिए कोई बात नहीं, लेट्स कैरी ऑन विद दिस। जी जी प्लीज़।
So it was really a wonderful experience, and the way she presented with a pleasant way, rather well. And I think हमने कई बार ये देखा है, एक्सपीरियंस भी किया है, बट इसमें सोचा कभी नहीं कि हाँ ये साइलेंस का भी पार्ट है. But really wonderful way she has presented. I congratulate her. And as she said, she keep on working on it. I would get her, ask her to keep on doing it, so that we must gain from her experience and become better judge of the judges of the. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। दमनप्रीत सिंह जी की आईडी से हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं शुरू से ही। आप अपना माइक ऑन कर सकते हैं और बात कर सकते हैं। उसके बाद खुशी धीमन, इन्होंने हमें अभी ज्वाइन किया है, बट लेकिन हो सकता है कि आपके बड़े ही अच्छे मित्र हों। खुशी धीमन जी, अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं प्लीज़। नविता सिंह मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मैम। आप माइक ऑन करके अपनी ऑब्जर्वेशन सामने रख सकते हैं।
Yeah, I would like to congratulate Harshika on a very, very mature presentation. I have not seen the young architects talk like this. So it is. I feel very glad that the future of architecture is in such responsible hands.
Thank you so
So,
much, ma'am.
yeah.
It is very-
So from this presentation, what I was reminded of was Mies van der Rohe. He had the philosophy of less is more.
yes.
So I think if the newer generation of architects start practicing that, that will also be very good for a developing nation like ours, where we will be using resources very carefully. And to create the architecture that you were talking about, Harshika, I think it's pretty challenging
It is.
because yes, because to create something which is simple and calming and at the same time aesthetically appealing is more challenging than making a building that that makes a that is like awe-inspiring or very spectacular. So I think it's a very good concept which you have shared with all of us. And if this is practiced, I'm sure most of people who are having psychological issues nowadays, a lot of it is due to the built environment, especially in cities like metros and all. I personally experienced that. It is the built environment which is giving a lot of stress to people. So if that is thoughtfully designed and we ensure that it is a calming experience, I think it will be helpful in a lot many ways, like even help in the spiritual advancement of our society, which is actually getting lost somewhere. And this is also, I think, not like it's like a different philosophy. So it's like against materialism. When you want to teach something very simple, you will use very little. So that will be a very good thing if it happens. So thank you for this wonderful presentation.
My pleasure, ma'am. And I would really want to practice it as soon as I begin designing. I'm already designing, but when I come in the profession, I would like to practice it because it is very important nowadays to practice it, because
Yes.
as I said in my presentation also, everything is demanding our attention all the time,
Yeah.
and it is very important to create spaces of pause,
Yes.
which slows us down and
Yeah.
give us time to reflect our
And
actions.
this, I would just like to add that there are certain environmental factors which are beyond the control of the architect. Those also have to be taken care of. Like especially in very like India is a very populous nation. There's too much of population there. So sometimes if you want to have a place of calm, you will not be able to find that. There's so much of traffic. There's so much of noise. There's so much happening around you, that how do you create that? So that will be a challenge for you moving forward, that how you create that. So maybe you can use technology to do that, you know.
Yes, I'll
Use,
continue to study about it and
yeah, maybe some acoustic design or something, where you can create that kind of a thing, because uh, in India we don't really have that. In most places we don't get that, silent, really silent spaces. They are very few, unless you go outside the city or you are in somewhere in a forest like area or something. Then you can experience as much better. Yeah,
true.
thank you.
And as I've started living in Chandigarh, like as I've started visiting Chandigarh, and I'm from Jaipur originally, so Jaipur is a very, like, it is a very great city, but it is a little chaotic.
Yes.
And in Chandigarh, you can see, you can experience that silent spaces somehow. Like there are spaces that are silent.
Yes, true.
So yeah, I have started
I
with
also feel the same,
Ashka,
that
let's
there are
help more people to ask questions.
राइट, थैंक यू वेरी मच नमिता मैम। आपने बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से सम अप किया इनको। और नवजोत कौर जी के आईटी से हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, प्लीज़ मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूँ। यू कैन स्विच ऑन योर माइक।
Hi, Harshika.
hello.
Uh, and it was so fun and it was so interesting to see you here. As you're someone of my age and you're my batchmate, I found your thoughts on silence and architecture truly relatable. And it was inspiring to see how our generation is exploring such deep emotional connection. And as I'll be in your place next time, and I hope my topic is somewhat relatable, architecture and emotions. And I'll try to take your thoughts incorporated in my topic too, and we'll see where it goes, and we will be exploring more and more.
Sure, Navjot,
It
surely.
was nice
I'm
to,
really looking forward to your presentation too.
yeah.
जी राइट, थैंक यू वेरी मच। श्रेयांशु राज जी की आईडी से आप माइक ऑन कर सकते हैं और बात कर सकते हैं, आपके ऑब्जर्वेशन है तो। सुकेश चंद्र शर्मा जी, सर आपका स्वागत है, अगर आप कुछ बात करना चाह रहे हैं।
धन्यवाद अरुण जी। अरुण जी, हर्षिका ने लगता है काफी मेहनत की है और बहुत प्रेपरेशन के बाद फिर प्रेजेंटेशन दिया है। आई एम वेरी ग्लैड और माय वाइस बेस्ट विशेस। लेकिन इनका ना एक जो टाइटल है साइलेंस इन आर्किटेक्चर, उससे मुझे एक ना पुरानी एक पिक्चर थी बहुत अच्छी, मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छी थी। वो थी गीत गाया पत्थरों ने,
जी
आपने शायद देखी होगी।
जी 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 जी।
Stones, they also sing songs, catch your emotions also. So that is also just opposite to that. So भट्टी साहब को मेरी सजेशन है कि ये जो प्रेजेंटेशन चंडीगढ़ आर्किटेक्चर स्कूल जो है वो कर रहे हैं, अगर थोड़े से चंडीगढ़ आर्किटेक्चर कॉलेज वाले बच्चे भी प्रेजेंटेशन दें तो वो लगता है कि एक अच्छा कंपटीशन होगा और हमें भी सुनने के लिए अच्छा लगेगा। अभी तो चंडीगढ़ यूनिवर्सिटी वाले बच्चे हैं, अगर चंडीगढ़ का लोकल कॉलेज के बच्चे भी, उनके पास भी इंफॉर्मेशन जाए तो वो भी पार्टिसिपेट करें, तो ये एक अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट होगा चंडीगढ़ के लिए आर्किटेक्चर बिल्डर्स के लिए। धन्यवाद सर।
जी सर, आपकी बात बिल्कुल हम तक पहुंची है और भट्टी साहब मुझे उम्मीद है कि हर बात की तरह जो हर बात का संज्ञान लेते हैं तो आपकी बात का भी संज्ञान लेंगे। तो अब इस महफिल के सरदार को हम इनवाइट करते हैं। सरदार साहब, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। भट्टी साहब आइए, अब आप अपने शब्दों में समाप्त कीजिए कि आज आपने क्या क्या समझा, क्या समझा। जी।
I think it's been a brilliant presentation. उसकी प्रेपरेशन, उसकी डेप्थ, कंसर्न, सारी चीज़ें जो बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से स्टडी करके बनाया गया। जैसे इसको शर्मा कह रहे थे कि इतनी मेहनत करके बना। It is expected as a teacher of architecture. I have always told my students to be serious, and seriousness is not glumness. It is paying attention to what is happening, including what you experience. तो उसमें मुझे लगता है कि जो इसने किया वो बहुत ही कमाल का अच्छा बताया। बट जस्ट टू टेल यू कि मेरा कंसर्न ऐसे ही रहा जैसे इसकी क्यूरियोसिटी आप दिखा रही है, हमारी तो बचपन से ही रही थी। So in 1985, this is not in self-praise. I'm just putting that in the historical context. In 1985, I developed a course called PRAM, Professional Resource Awareness Method. तो मैंने कहा कि जब 4th ईयर में जाते हैं तो टाउन प्लानिंग सिखाते हैं, तब तक कंडीशनिंग हो जाती है, तो आप उस स्केल को कर ही नहीं सकते, छोटे छोटे बिल्डिंग के चक्कर में रहते हो, तो वो शुरू से होना चाहिए। So my philosophy was truly Indian. वैसे फॉलो तो कोई नहीं कर रहा, समझ नहीं रहे, बोलते जाते हैं, बट आई फिगर्ड इट आउट आफ्टर डीप स्टडी, ए लाइफ टाइम स्टडी है कि जो हमारी ट्रेडिशन में चीज़ें दे रखी हैं उसको समझने से ही आगे चल सकते हैं। वो ये था कि we must always act from the whole to the part, not vice versa. अगर पार्ट से शुरू करो तो मोज़ेक तो बन सकता है, होलनेस नहीं आती। जैसे चोला, फकीरों का चोला होता है, जहाँ टाकी मिली लगा देते हैं तो वो मोज़ेक हो जाता है ना, तो वो जो अच्छा होना चाहिए वो वैसा नहीं होता। तो उस सेंस में मैंने कहा भी स्टूडेंट्स को ले जाते हैं प्रेम्बुलेटर में, प्रेम में ले जाते हैं। सो आई यूज्ड टू टेक माय स्टूडेंट्स आउट। तो मैंने कहा भी कुछ नहीं देखना, मैं नहीं बता रहा हूँ क्या देखना, आप सारे चीज़ एक्सपीरियंस करो। दी लैम्प पोस्ट, दी ट्रीज हैं, जो साइड वॉक है, बीच में ट्रैफिक चल रही, उधर शॉपिंग हो रही, कहीं कुछ हो रहा है, तो उसको देखो और देखो कि है क्या है। जैसे क्योटेक कह रहे हैं भी है, नॉइजी है, कुछ क्या है। तो आई फाउंड इट टू बी वर्किंग क्वाइट वेल, कि उनको रॉ था, उस सेंसिबिलिटी तो ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हैं। तो सम ऑफ देम हैव ग्रोन टू बी वंडरफुल आर्किटेक्ट्स। तो मैं ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि ये पढ़ाने से नहीं आता, ये समझने से आता है। और समझने का मतलब ये होता है कि भगवान ने कुछ ऐसा आपको दिया है जो आप डिस्कवर करोगे तभी डेवलप होगा। अगर आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा भी है मेरे पास कि नहीं। उसमें मैं एक थॉट शेयर करना चाह रहा हूँ आपसे, वो ये है कि आई फिगर्ड आउट एंड रिटन ए बुक ऑल्सो, पब्लिश करूँगा अभी। उसका नाम है वॉच आउट फॉर द जीनियस इन योर फैमिली। ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन है, छोटे छोटे जो, उनको देखो, देयर ऑल जीनियसेस जो 21st सेंचुरी में पैदा हुए हैं, देयर ऑल जीनियस ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड इन ऑल फील्ड्स। अभी रिसेंटली एक सचदेवा लड़का नाम है, उसने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पे की नोट एड्रेस पढ़ा। इसी तरह बड़े बड़े लोग जो है ना, एलोन मस्क के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, 8-9 साल पहले हैं, और सारे हैं, कोई एक्टिंग में, कोई सिंगिंग में। मैंने सिंगिंग तो सारी उम्र सुनता रहूँ। मुझे लगता है कि जो बच्चा 9-7 साल का अभी हुआ था एक चैंपियन, ही कुड सिंग मच बेटर देन बड़े गुलाम अली। तो अब वो चक्कर नहीं है कि बड़ा है तो इसलिए ऐसा नहीं होता, एक्सपोजर है, और अंदर से जो आपको सामान मिला है ना, वो उसका जो स्टिमुलेंट है वो काम करता है। दूसरी चीज़ मैं एक बताना चाह रहा हूँ जिससे ये पॉसिबल हो रहा है, वो बड़ी आपको अच्छी भी लगेगी, थोड़ी अजीब भी लगेगी। I think in the mid 1980s, I wrote an article that towards the end of the century, India will emerge as the world leader in race. ये जो रैट रेस, वो रेस नहीं है। रेस मीन्स रिलीजन, आर्ट, कल्चर एंड एम्पैथी, जैसे करुणा बोलते हैं। उस रेस में वो वर्ल्ड लीडर बनेगा। तो आप देखो बना हुआ है। और दूसरी चीज़ मैंने कही थी, लिखी, इट इज़ रिकॉर्डेड, गप शप नहीं बता रहा हूँ। उस दूसरे जगह कहा 21st सेंचुरी बिलोंग्स टू हिंदुइज्म, वो आप देख सकते हैं सारी जगह हो रहा है। संस्कृत के स्कूल इतने ज्यादा कॉलेजेस खुले हैं अमेरिका में, यूरोप में, हमारे इधर है ही नहीं। सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू कि ये सारी चीजें जो मैंने देखी हैं वो आर्किटेक्चर बिल्डिंग नहीं है, कॉस्मोस इज द आर्किटेक्चर, गॉड्स आर्किटेक्चर इज द कॉस्मोस। तो उसमें सारी चीजें मौजूद हैं, ऑल आइडियाज, तो जिसको हम कहते हैं फ्यूचर, और फ्यूचर भी उसमें पे रिटर्न है पहले से, अनफोल्ड इसीलिए बोलते हैं अनफोल्ड होता है। तो उसमें एक चीज और जो मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा वो यह है कि यहाँ पे डॉक्टर S.K. शर्मा थे, एपिडेमियोलॉजिस्ट, वो वाज ए वंडरफुल मैन, और उसने जो कंट्रीब्यूशन की है वो किसी ने नहीं की, और उसको भूल भी गया, उनकी डेथ हो गई काफी अर्सा पहले। So he, along with me and a few others, established Chandigarh Environment Society in 1976. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की अर्ली 80s में हुई। ऐसे और बड़ी बड़ी चीजें हैं। तो मैं ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि you don't have to be an architect to be talking about architecture or experiencing it. आर्किटेक्चर मदर आर्ट बोलते हैं उसको, सारी चीजें उसमें से आती हैं, but it is also the mother of all kinds of experiences. लाइक हर्षिका हैज डन कि मुझे ऐसा लगा कोर्टयार्ड में रह के, ऐसा लगा, तो सारे अवेलेबल चीजें हम ही नहीं करते। तो उस सेंस में मैं कहूँगा बहुत ही अच्छा ये लेक्चर हुआ है, और इसको मैं और भी अच्छे तरीके से यूज करूँगा, ये और बाकी जो 3 है। तो मीनवाइल जो आपको मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ वो ये है कि ये सारी की सारी चीजें मेरा कंसर्न है ऑल ओवर द करियर, जो फॉर्मली तो रिटायरमेंट के बाद खत्म होता है, लेकिन वो चालू मेरे हिसाब से। लॉन्ग एगो आई रोट ए पोएम साइलेंस, और एक जो कार्ल पर्सन ने लिखी है, दोनों मैं आपसे शेयर करना चाह रहा हूँ। स्पीच, इसको एक्रोस्टिक बोलते हैं, SILENCE, ये लेटर्स हैं, उसी लेटर से ही डेवलप किया। Speech inverted into love to engage in natural contemplation of existence. Soul's inmost living therefore evokes for itself native conditions of ecstasy. Mysterious are the ways of God, that in pleasurable perennial persistence He establishes in the world of matter many an enticing permanent embassy. दूसरी पोएम जो बहुत पुरानी है उसका नाम है Come but boredom before silence is attained. Come but boredom before silence is attained. In boredom is enemy of silence contained. It forces man to rush into the din of mob. Peace of mind is lost, turmoil is obtained. ये साइलेंस की तो मैंने बड़े सालों से कर रखा है। So what I'm trying to tell you is that कि जो भी आर्किटेक्चर मैंने अपने स्टूडेंट्स को काफी बार बताया है, जो भी आर्किटेक्चर में आया है वो बहुत ही लकी इंडिविजुअल है, और अगर वो लकी इंडिविजुअल लड़की है तो वो ट्वाइस ब्लेस्ड जिसको बोलते हैं ना, द्विज है, क्योंकि जो हमारा आर्किटेक्चर माया जिसको बोलते हैं चल रहा है वो औरत की वजह से ही चल रहा है। तो इसलिए इट कम्स वेरी नेचुरली टू ह्यूमन बीइंग्स इन द फीमेल जेंडर कि आर्किटेक्चर कैसा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो क्रिएट करती है आर्किटेक्चर। तो सच में मैं कहूँगा कि ये जो सब्जेक्ट इन्होंने लिया है और आर्किटेक्चर से कनेक्ट करके दिखाया है, वो हमारी कंट्री में जो बहुत ही पुरानी चीजें बनी हुई हैं उसमें वो प्रेजेंट है। कैलाश टेम्पल हम देख पढ़ते थे स्टूडेंट्स डेज में, जब मैं टीचर के तौर पे स्टूडेंट्स को वहां लेके गया तो मैंने कहा जो मेरे घर वालों को बता दो मैं नहीं आ रहा, मैं इधर ही रहूंगा। वो कहते जी हमें डांट पड़ जाएगी, हमारा आदमी घुमा दिया। तो इतना कमाल उधर इफेक्ट है। जो साइलेंस की बात कर रहे हैं ना, वो साइलेंस भी थी और उसकी कंपेनियनेबल साइलेंस थी, ऐसे नहीं सिर्फ साइलेंस। I wanted to figure out who the companion is in that huge world. तो वो सारी चीजें, तो उसके में इतना इंस्पायर हुआ, एक लंबी पोएम लिख दी। वो पोएम मैंने अपने प्रिंसिपल को पढ़ा दी तो वो कहता क्या बात कर यार, डोंट बी सेंटिमेंटल। उसमें मैंने पता नहीं कहाँ फेंक दी, क्योंकि सीनियर पे आपको होता है ना भरोसा, भी अच्छी बात बताएगा, ये टाइम खराब करने वाली बात। अब पता चल रहा है हर्षिका जैसे भी हैं जो इतने छोटी उम्र में उस चीज को पहचान रहे हैं, तो हमारे प्रिंसिपल साहब ने हमारी दुकान बंद कर दी। एनीवे ही कुडंट स्टॉप मी, सो आई हैव बीन थिंकिंग अबाउट ऑल दिस थिंग। तो उसमें अब मैं यही कहूँगा, जैसे अभी नविता मैंने भी इसको कहा है कि जब प्रैक्टिस करोगे पता चलेगा क्या क्या लिमिटेशंस हैं, और मीजबेंडो जो है वो उसके जो डिक्टम है कितने मीनिंगफुल है, स्पेशली इन आवर कंट्री। यहाँ पे पैसे रिसोर्स से खराब नहीं कर, ऐसा मतलब नहीं है कि वहाँ यहाँ पे पैसे it's a wonderful presentation, and I think, like you say, you remember a building because of the silence it gives. We will remember you for the presentation you made on silence related to architecture. Thank you very much. It's a brilliant and memorable moment.
Sir, it was a pleasure to be here today in this very nice like concept of First Friday Forum, and to be here in front of such learned people and presenting. I would love to do it again sometime, and I would love to share my thoughts and keep learning on the way, and actually bring it in my practice. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir.
वंडरफुल
बंसल साहब, इसने एक वर्ड यूज किया था, इमेजरेबल। वो इमेजरेबल जब बोला तो मैं उसी वक्त उसकी डेफिनेशन बना दी, साइलेंस इज इमेजरेबल स्पीच।
Wonderful, sir.
और भी आदि मैंने पढ़ सुन के कितना कुछ और बना दिया। एनीवे इट्स अ वंडरफुल थिंग। थैंक यू।
वंडरफुल। हर्षिका, जितना आपने अच्छे से अपना सेशन निभाया उससे उतने ही अच्छे तरीके से आपने आखिर में जो हमें 2 लाइनें दी हैं वो दी हैं करने के लिए। और मैं सभी जो हमारे देखने सुनने वाले हैं उनके लिए बता दूं कि फर्स्ट फ्राइडे फोरम का हमारा जो अंक है, हमेशा हर महीने के पहले शुक्रवार को 6 बजे हम लोग इकट्ठा होते हैं और किसी न किसी ऐसी हस्ती को इनवाइट करते हैं जिन्होंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में कुछ अचीवमेंट्स की हैं या उनके अचीवमेंट्स को सबके साथ साझा करना चाहते हैं, तो हम उनको इनवाइट करते हैं। आज हमने हर्षिका जी को इनवाइट किया था, जिनके बारे में हम यही कहना चाहेंगे कि यूँ लगता है कि तुम्हें रोज़ बैठ के बस सुनता रहूँ, तुम खामोश रहो और मैं तुम्हें सुनता रहूँ। तो उनकी इतनी साइलेंस जो है उन्होंने हमें सुनाई है और हम उसको पोइटिक हमें कर दिया है। तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि हमारा जो अंक है सभी देखने सुनने वालों को पसंद आया होगा। और अगर आप हमसे जुड़ना चाहते हैं तो इस वीडियो की थ्रेड में आप अपने अपने कमेंट पोस्ट कर सकते हैं। हमसे कोई जानकारी चाहिए तो कर सकते हैं। फर्स्ट फ्राइडे फॉर्म का ये अंक आज हम यहीं तक रखते हुए आपसे इजाज़त चाहते हैं। जैसा कि विधान है, मैं और भट्टी साहब सबसे लास्ट में और हमारे जो वक्ता हैं सबसे लास्ट में छोड़ेंगे मीटिंग को। मैं पहले लाइव ऑडियंस के लिए मीटिंग को यहीं तक रख रहा हूँ।